Hey guys, Lucas here in Venture Surplus, and today we're going to look at how to make a poor man's Beavertail backpack. So what we're going to do is take a look at the map pack from Eel Industries, and we're going to address the biggest shortcoming of it, which is the inability to wear it independent of being directly mounted to your kit. So before we get too far into that, if you've never had a map backpack or wondering why this is even worth your time, we're going to take a look at what the map is, where it came from, and what it does, and then we'll get into addressing how to mount shoulder straps to it. That's going to be really easy and really cost effective for anybody that has a map or is looking at a map or give you a good reason to buy a map in the first place. So let's get into the history of the map backpack in general. So the map backpack had its start during the GWOT. So it was a part of the SFLCS kits that were issued out to U.S. Army Special Forces, Ranger Regiment, and then like Navy SEALs and everybody in between, and occasionally other guys would get them as well. So it's a direct MOLLE mount backpack that went directly in your kit, and it allowed you to carry a pretty slim, streamlined, easy to carry backpack for direct action type missions or deliberate mission sets where you didn't need a lot of extra gear. You're going to be out for a long amount of time. You just need to carry water, extra radio batteries, a radio can fit in here for a man pack, extra supplies, ordnance magazines, all those kind of things, but directly mounted to you, and it was great for urban style operations because it wasn't big, wasn't going to snag. You didn't have to worry about carrying a whole extra backpack around with you. So it was made for that kind of mission sets, made for those kind of uses, and it does the job very, very well. It saw extensive use throughout the GWOT. Odds are if you're into gear or have a lot of gear, you've had a map backpack or know somebody that has had a map backpack. Now going from there, and the greatness of it, it has some shortcomings. It is an older design. Because of that, it's pretty dang tall. If you can see this, it's pretty tall, and it was made for those older kits. So your old Cuirass, MBAVs, RBAVs, all those type of old plate carrier body armor systems that were pretty big and considered, oversized, and this day and age is just way too big and bulky. That's what it's made to fit on, so it had all that space. So your modern JPC like this, it's just too dang tall. Yeah, you can put it on there. It's wide enough to fit on there fine, but you can have some overlap on the top and bottom. So in modern day, about the last decade or so, we've seen quite a few other companies come out with different iterations of the map. So you have some slightly shorter ones, maybe a little wider, but they're carrying on the lineage of this awesome backpack, but it would have mounted on your current, more modern plate carriers and body armor systems. So there are options these days. If you see this and you're like, I still want a map backpack or that kind of style backpack, there are options these days that will fit on your plate carriers. But these are still awesome to get, still awesome to use. They go great on RVs too. Don't want to forget to mention that. Take some buckles to attach it, but they fit great on there. So that's the map. And again, addressing the biggest shortcoming is I can't wear this independently. It's got to be mounted to something. Whether it's back your body armor, another backpack. These would be kind of awesome to see on a rucksack as a really huge sustainment pouch, especially for vehicle operations where it kind of makes sense to have all that extra bulk and weight. But yeah, so let's get into how to mount shoulder straps on this and how to make this into the poor man's Beavertail backpack. All right, so this is the Beavertail backpack. This is what we're talking about. We're making a poor man's Beavertail. This is the direct successor to the map pack, and addresses the shortcomings of the map itself, which is can't wear it, as a shoulder strap system, not directly mounted to your kit. So Beavertails come with shoulder straps. They mount on there pretty easy, and they're really removable. It's really quick to get these off there and directly mount it to your kit if you want to do that, if that's the kind of style you want to run. So this backpack, you can see, same general form and function. We have a large main compartment which can fit an ASIP 100 ounce hydration carrier. You have a mesh pocket inside of each one. Pretty simple overall layout. Front's got big GP pockets that are zipper access, whereas Beavertail they did add on pouches directly mounted to there, so you don't have to worry about mauling anything on there. You just have good small GP. And then Beavertail has the biggest thing that makes it the Beavertail, which is this big mesh section up front. Some models are removable, the standard models are not. So this is also a pretty expensive backpack. Nowadays you can, brand new, they're around $240, something like that. On the used market, it ranges from $100 to $240. So it just depends on what your flavor of the month is. Do you want this, or do you want something that's more cost effective? So let's get into how to make this awesome backpack as something way more cost effective. It's pretty dang easy. It's just gonna be mounting some LC2 style Alice shoulder straps on there. And pretty much any shoulder strap similar to this is going to mount directly on there. So let's take a little bit of a look at how these go on there, and then some alternative methods for mounting this style of shoulder strap. So these style shoulder straps, they mount just through the webbing on the backpack itself. So the MOLLE webbing back here, we have the big old pal straps and everything like that. They just weave right in there, and it's super easy, super quick. You can put them on there, and they're still really removable. I recommend, these are overkill, but I do recommend these because a lot of you guys are going to have these laying around. You're going to have an older Alice pack. You might have some extra shoulder straps from shopping around the store, being like, hey, these are worth grabbing. We like to stock them when we can, but again, they're really accessible and really cost effective to get a pair of shoulder straps that you can put very easily on your mat pack. Now, mounts up here on this webbing, and then I have them mounted on here on the very bottom. You could mount it here, but I wanted a little extra length, so I put it all the way in the bottom here where the webbing is right there. Now let's say, it's a little tall on the top still from where the straps mount. That might be an issue for some guys, whereas that's just sitting a little too high. If you go in the prone, you're gonna hit it with your head, or just looking around, you might start hitting it. So to address that issue is really easy. I bought 1-inch key rings. I'd recommend getting 1.5 to 2-inch key rings though. And you put it right here instead. And that allows you to take these straps up a good bit and get pretty much all the way as high as the backpack is tall for your shoulder straps. There's no good way to really get around the width of the pack, other than just kind of extending your straps out some. It's still gonna be narrow. It's just gonna remain a narrow backpack in general, but that's okay because at the end of the day, you're not really gonna carry more than 20 pounds with a man pack in this backpack. So, you're not looking at a whole lot of weight. So something like run-of-the-mill key rings is gonna do a good job. It's gonna hold that weight fine, especially distributed across two, and your shoulder straps and that webbing is gonna hold just fine because any mil-spec webbing with mil-spec stitching and bar tacking, it's gonna hold up to that 20-pound weight more than fine. So nothing to worry about there as far as weight goes, and sky's the limit as far as you go there. So let's look at one other example of shoulder straps you could put on here like this before we get into our more cost-effective method. So the LC2 or LC1 Alice style shoulder straps, like I said, really easy, really cost-effective. You probably already have a set laying around. Another option would just be any style of removable backpack strap because you can do the same thing with it. These ones I don't expect most people to have these laying around, but it's an example, and you can find similar styles throughout other backpacks. These are Beavertail shoulder straps. They're definitely gonna be less overkill as far as like the big old padding you have on Alice straps. More streamlined, they're gonna fit a little better on there. But anything like this, where as long as it's got a strap and then either the ability to, or it already has it included built on, just some webbing buckles right here, just tri-glides essentially, where you can come back through the webbing, mount it to it. It's gonna work on there. These are two-piece systems, so you have a bottom and a top, connect them up. You can detach that backpack really easily from your shoulders, from your kit. They're gonna be adjustable, they're gonna be really comfortable. And again, if you need to bring it up higher, just get some key rings, super cheap, put it right there, and you're good to go. So that is, it's super easy. So that allows you to just go from what is a kind of plain Jane, almost don't want to get it backpack and make it into half the price really. You're spending half the amount of money on something like this. So it's just a poor man's Beavertail, and it's really cool. So let's look at an even more cost-effective version, especially if you don't have anything like this laying around, whether it be older style straps or newer style straps off your Amazon backpack or something or another. Something that's super easy to do, allows you to get a little more crafty and kind of explore how you would like to do it instead of being fixed on this kind of thing. So let's look at how to make it at home. All right, now the second method, like I already kind of said and repeat myself, is a way it's very cost effective still in a way it allows you to get a little more crafty as far as how you want these straps mounted to your mat pack. So it's pretty simple, follows the same general principles of the Alice straps and removable straps being mounted to, but just kind of making yourself, if you don't have those laying around at home and you want to do it more to how you want to do it. All you got to do is get, like I talked about, these key ring rings. So get like 1.5, 2-inch key ring rings because it's going to work best on there. Some webbing buckles or tri-glides, which there's a very good chance you have some of these laying around. If you have a lot of gear, you can take it off the gear, you have some extras because of repair kits, something like that. And then just 1-inch webbing of your desired color. And what you're going to do here is cut that to length, kind of figure out your length. I'll definitely cut some excess at first, that's longer than what you actually need. And you're going to cut those down and you're going to make your own shoulder straps that can be mounted to your backpack. Now, these are going to be fixed straps in the sense of It's not easy to adjust the length of them once they're on you, but if you cut them down or figure out the length you need, what's going to be comfortable for you to wear with or without body armor, depending on how you're going to wear this, it's fine. They're fixed length. Get them on there. If you have the ability to sew, make sure you have a good sewing machine that can go through 2 layers of webbing, because not every sewing machine can. You can tack these up, actually mount them on there, and have more of a 2-piece system because of where you're going to adjust the tri-glides or webbing buckles. But yeah, so sky's the limits here. It's between the webbing. I mean, I had to get like 10 yards of webbing, and the packs of buckles and key rings are pretty cheap, but I think I spent like 20 bucks for all this material. So maybe you already have webbing laying around, maybe you already have key rings laying around. You can save some money, but at the end of the day, you're gonna make it how it works best for you. 1-inch straps are a little slim, but again, you're not looking at carrying a whole lot of weight, but going to 1.5 or 2-inch webbing, I wouldn't not recommend that, because it's gonna be more comfortable on your shoulders. But yeah, mount's kind of similar to the Alice straps and those Beavertail straps I showed off. Just put that to the keyring. The keyrings are kind of essential here because you want to have an actual point to mount. Maybe not the webbing, but it allows you to bring it up higher, sit better on you, and just mount that thing up. Get it through the buckle one way or another once it goes through. Do the same thing at the bottom. Go through it. Again, you're gonna, I have excess here because I'm still figuring out the exact length I want. But put that through the keyring. Slide that through the webbing buckle again, and I am good to go. And I just figure out what length I need for me and kind of trim it down from there, and now I can wear this independent of being mounted directly to my kit. Again, super cheap, allows you to get really creative, and it's just a nice way to make this backpack a lot more than it was before, which was volley mountable only. So that's that. I really hope you enjoy this video. We enjoy doing the whole, poor man's version of XYZ, especially when it's something that it's like, I have Beavertail, I have 2 Beavertails. They're expensive, and I had to think a lot when I bought them, because can I justify that price? And you may not be able to justify the price of a Beavertail or a similar backpack of a current design, because they are expensive, and I completely agree with that. We sell surplus. I mean, it's just one of those things where you go through and you're like, I can make a lot more out of this piece of equipment and get the same results that I was looking for with a more expensive piece of equipment by just doing something simple like this. And I'm not spending a lot of money to get there. So hope you enjoy this one. Leave a comment below if there's something else you kind of want us to figure out with this one, or figure out in the future with other pieces of gear how to kind of get more out of this or that, because we definitely do enjoy figuring those things out. And just comment below if you like this video, what your thoughts are on there, any suggestions you've got for other guys looking at this stuff. And then if you've done anything like this, leave a comment below as well, please. But subscribe, comment, sign up for emails, because as of time of publishing this video, we have a good handful of new ones, new maps left in stock. But if we sell out by the time you're watching this video, sign up for emails, because you'll know when we restock them, as well as you'll be able to see all the sales, featured items, and other great gear we get in all the time, and be the first to know about it because you're on your email list. But appreciate you watching. Look forward to seeing you next time.